Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Fine?
Hello, good evening, teacher. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. So, tonight we have writing, yep. Okay. So, we're starting the book on fourth chapter from paragraph to essay. Tonight we'll cover what is essay, the parts of essay, and basically at the end, if you would have time, we'll cover on how to write an essay. So that's the topic. Chapter 3 is about facts, details, quotations. I think they're not too hard. You can self-study them. What is a fact? What is quotation? Kinds of quotations, direct quotation, indirect quotation, and how to change the direct quotation to indirect quotation, the coded speech. So there are things that you can self-study them with yourself as well. And our focus tonight would specifically go on how to write the essay, the structure of essay. That's what we discussed tonight. The essay structure, parts of essay, and introductory paragraph, the kinds of introductory, then we'll discuss that one. The parts of an introductory paragraph. So in chapter 3 of the book, which is mainly focusing on, let me outline it. Chapter 3 will mainly focus on facts. What are facts? What are details? Facts, details, or supporting ideas. Supporting details, it's also called that one. Supporting details. Then it talks about statistics. What are statistics? And beside them, we have something which is mentioned, facts versus opinion. It means the difference between a fact and opinion. That's mentioned. And beside that, it talks about citation, a very brief introduction to what is citation, in-text citation, and work citation. So it talks about those two. So basically, the main focus would go on with these three main topics. And beside statistics, it focuses on quotation, direct quotation, indirect quotation, how to change the direct quotation to indirect quotation. There are the things that you can study them with yourself. So in tonight's session, I will focus on chapter 4 of this book. In chapter 4 of this book, we have from paragraph to essay. From paragraph to essay. That's the focus of this one. We have to know the structure of the essay. We'll have an introduction to that. Then the parts that it has. So basically, before going to the parts of essay, who can tell me the essay definition? What is an essay first? Yes.
Okay, teacher. So first of all, hello, assalamu alaikum. Hope all of you be fine and healthy, especially you teachers. About ECF, I say assignment group of words that assignment speak about the Central Asia. The central issue, and also essay we can say it's a kind of topic, teacher. So no matter it would be to know, most of the time it's academic topic. Assignment includes paragraphs like introduction, the body, and conclusion. So one essay should include three things: paragraph, body paragraph, yeah, I think, and also conclusion. Yeah, teacher, in my perspective, it's about the essay.
Okay, thank you. Miss Sahar?
Okay, first of all, hello and good evening to others. And then, what is an essay? An essay is a piece of writing in which a writer presents and develops ideas about a specific topic in a clear and organized way. The purpose of an essay is usually to inform, explain, argue, or describe something, and it has three parts. The first part is introduction, second body paragraphs, and the last one is conclusion.
Excellent. That's great. Miss Latifa?
Okay, teacher. So, the definition of essay. So, an essay is a group of paragraphs that talk about one main idea or a specific topic. So, it has introduction, body paragraphs, and also conclusion.
Okay. Thank you very much. As you have mentioned, so shortly, yeah, if we define it in a basic mode, we call essay is a group of paragraphs that talk about one central topic. That's what we have as essay. And then why do we have the essay? Yeah, you have mentioned that they might have a specific purpose to argue, to describe, to define, and so on. So it might be considered as the purpose of the essay. So basically, that's what we have as essay itself. A group of paragraphs that talk about one central topic. It is called essay. Now, the next thing is we have parts of essay. Every essay has got these three sections. Introductory paragraphs we have. Then there are body paragraphs that we have. And finally, there is concluding paragraph. So introductory paragraph, body paragraphs, and concluding paragraph. These are the three sections of every essay. And introductory paragraph in an essay again contains three parts. The first one is hook, second is connecting information, or it is also called general background statements or background statements. And the third part of thesis is called thesis statement, which is the most important section of every essay. Hook, connecting information, thesis statement, and in the second part, we have body paragraphs. Every body paragraph, so for example, we have body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, as many paragraphs we have. So it's related to the idea, which idea is basically developed in our essay. So we may have body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, body paragraph 4. So as the number of paragraphs grow, it means the topic is broad. So the last part is concluding paragraph. In concluding paragraph, we have again two sections. One is what we have as the restatement or summary. Some writers may have a summary of the whole points stated in the essay. Others may prefer to go on with a restatement of the introductory paragraph, specifically the thesis statement. They may tell the thesis statement or the introductory as a whole with a different way, using different structure and different clause order. And the second section is what we have as the comment section. In the comment section, the writer tries to comment on what happens next. For example, it might be a prediction. The writer might predict something. The writer might suggest something, or the writer might give opinion. So it could be that one. The writer might make recommendations about a specific topic. So we'll look at them later. Now let's specifically go to hook, connecting information, and thesis statement. These parts of introductory paragraph. Now let's see, when we call hook is usually the first sentence in every introductory paragraph. It is the first sentence of the essay as well. So since it is the first sentence, it's usually general, the most general statement in the sentence. Actually, we have types of introductory paragraphs. It will be different. But based on one kind of it, which we call it funnel introduction, the hook is the most general statement in the essay. So it is usually the first sentence of the introductory paragraph. That's the position. The first sentence. Now, the next thing is, why do we have the hook? What is the function of hook? What is hook? And so this is the hook. The first sentence of introductory paragraph is what we call as hook. Now, why do we have? The purpose of the hook is to attract the reader's attention. So if you write here, the purpose of the hook is to attract the reader's attention. Simply, the hook statement would encourage or persuade the reader to read the rest of the paragraph, the rest of the essay as a whole. So hook is the most important part. So the purpose of this one is to hook the reader's attention or attract the reader's attention. Now, the next question is kinds of hooks. Or simply, what can be a hook and what can't be a hook? That's the next question. So if I write here, what can be a hook? That's a good question that it needs to be answered. Because every sentence cannot be a hook, or every statement cannot be a hook. So what can be a hook? A hook can be, first of all, we might write, for example, a question. We can start our essay with a question. A hook can be a question first. It can be a question. If I write here completely, say a hook can be a question. For example, your essay would be about education, importance of education, or advantages of education, or effective. So let's write one hook about it using a question. For example, have you ever thought? So if you have the question, have you ever thought that the person who is educated is literally equal to the one who is uneducated? It can be a question. It starts with a general concept of education, a comparison between educated and uneducated. It could be that one. So it can be a hook. It is a question, a general statement. The rest of the introductory paragraph talks about the background of what do we mean by educated and what do we mean by uneducated, and how literally they can be considered equal or unequal. right? So this can be a hook. Or simply, if I write about technology, consider I might write about technology or effects of technology on our lives. So if we start, for example, has it been significant to see whether technology affected our lives positively or negatively. So it can be a hook, a general question that we ask about the technology. So it can be a hook. The first statement of our essay. So if you have any suggestions for the hook about this topic, you can write in the chat box. Before that, so do we have anyone who may tell us a hook about technology? Yes, Miss Ferishta.
Okay, teacher, so it should be a question. So no matter that what kind of question it should be. For example, you are going to study a roman. So I mean the title of that, the paragraph is that have you ever fallen in love?
It can be one question. So if we have the question, have you ever fallen in love? It means the rest of the essay will talk about love. So we have here, do you know? Technology is controlling. Very good. So that's one. A question can be a hook. The next is a quotation. A quotation can also be a hook. A quotation can be a hook as well. Quotation, literally, you may know that one. Telling person A's idea to person B. That's simple definition of quotation. So here we can use someone else's words, someone else's idea, and put it in the first part of our essay. We can use that one. Think if it is about importance of education, we might quote. For example, we might say our grand prophet, for example, says, and then we put comma, we open the quotation. Seek or educate yourself, let me write, educate yourself from cradle to the grave. So it shows that I'm talking about the importance of education. It can be a hook. The rest of the paragraph gives step-by-step information about what is education, what does this sentence mean exactly, and the rest of the information. Or if I have about technology, a quotation. For example, I may write famous person's quote, and then I can go ahead and talk about it. Let's say, for example, Elon Musk. Elon Musk, or according to Elon Musk. According to Elon Musk. Technology advancements in technology. Let's see. Advancements in technology would be enormous. 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 The way that might control human life in the future. So it is a quotation. We have someone else's word and we put it in our essay, introductory part. According to Elon Musk, advancements in technology would be enormous. The way that might control human life in the future. So it could be one of them. So who can tell a quotation about the effects? Okay, except for Miss Firishta. We don't have anyone else? Miss Firishta?
Yeah, teacher. For example, Allah says Muslims are the brothers of each other.
Okay. So what is the topic here?
The topic is about, إنما المؤمنون إخوة. It means, teacher, it's about, being unity together. Yeah,
United.
I can say unity, teacher. Yeah, it's about this. Keep our unity in our society. All of you are, brother and sister. Don't discriminate, among of people like this, teacher.
Okay. So Allah says in his holy book. Muslims are brothers so this would be a good hook as well. We can use quotations in order to have it. The next is a hook can be a surprising statement. Surprising statement of fact. If it is interesting fact, again, we can use surprising statement. Or a general statement. Often we can have general statements as well. General statements. General statements of fact. Miss Sahar, do you have any questions?
Okay. I want to say an example. Can I?
Yeah, for which of them?
Quotation hook.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Albert Einstein once said, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think.
Okay, Albert Einstein once said, education is?
Education is not the learning of facts.
The learning of facts.
But the training of the mind to think.
Training of the mind to think.
Yes.
Thank you. So if it is surprising statement, we may have about, again, education. For example, education, or it is a well-known fact, for example. Well-known fact that education, for example, education plays a significant role in how people live or how people, for example, think, behave, and communicate in a society. That's a general statement. Here we are generally discussing the education, the importance of education. So who can tell a sentence for this one? A hook? Miss Kamali.
Hello, sir, and hello, everyone. Sir, I'm sorry, I don't have example about this. I have a question. May I ask?
Yeah.
Sir, in this sentence that you mentioned, it's a well-known fact that education plays a significant role in how people think, behave, and communicate in a society. Can it be a thesis statement too, or not? It can be just a hook.
So if we have general statements, yeah, before that it can be. At that time, we have to remove this part. Because it's general. We are generally discussing. In general statements, so it's general. If I remove specifically this part, so it might be about it.
Okay. Good.
Or if we have other statements about technology, I think I may say technology affected people's lives worldwide. People's lives worldwide. What is this? Very general statement. Now, in the connecting part of the introductory paragraph, we have to mention how it affected, and then we specify the main topic and thesis statement. Miss Sahar?
Okay, I want to make a sentence. Many students spend more than 6 hours a day using technology for learning and communication.
Many students spend
more than 6 hours a day.
Spend more than 6 hours a day
using
technology for learning. Look, here when we say many students spend more than 6 hours a day, it is usually a specific statement. Okay, the specific time, if it is very specific, so that's not a hook. Here we can say many students spend more time using technology for learning than the past. Because if we specifically tell about one limited hour, so more time using technology, and then we put for learning than the past. It's a general statement now. So it can be a hook if we have general statements or statements of fact at the beginning of our essay. The next thing is if we have beside the statements, general statements, quotations and questions, we might have sometimes definition as well. Definition can be a hook as well. Definition. Definition is the next. Consider you are writing about a specific topic. Consider your topic is explaining simple present tense. You want to write an essay about that one. You are going to write about a specific term, unity. What is unity? Or you're trying to go on with description or definition of a specific term in biology, like photosynthesis. Okay, I will write a sentence, a hook. Consider photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process, for example, process of converting light into the chemical energy. So it can be a hook. It is a hook. So which kind of hook is used? Here we have a definition. Now, in the rest of the essay, in the rest of the introductory paragraph especially, we will have more detail about this definition. More specific description about what is photosynthesis and how it converts the light into the chemical energy and so on. Okay. Or simply, if we have other topics, think we may have unity. We want to define. We want to peace. Well, peace is another topic. Think we say peace. Peace is the situation. Peace is the situation which people live coexistentially. If you have coexistentially and accept each other's difference to have a calm and peaceful life. That's what we have. So here we are exactly discussing what is peace. Peace is the main topic. The rest are giving definition to that. So it can be a hook. Definition can be a hook as well. For example, if you have essay, you want to write an essay about the topic of essay itself. How do you define it? How do you want to start the hook?
Okay, teacher. For example, we can say that essay is a group of paragraphs that it talk about the central issue.
Exactly. Think it is a kind of hook. Okay, essay. If you want to write about essay is a group of paragraphs that talk about one central idea, and then in the background information you will give more information on what is the purpose of the essay, why do we have essay, and so on. And at the end, in the thesis statement, you will have the description on how many parts this essay have. So it makes an essay itself. Okay. So this is how the hook can introduce a specific point of view, and then the rest of the essay will go ahead to talk about it. So up to here, is there any question? Yep.
Sir, I have a question about this quotation hook. If we didn't write the name of the person who said or who cured this word, is it okay or not? We have to mention the person name as well, or no? It's no problem that if we don't mention the name of the person who tell this sentence or who tell this sentence. Yeah.
Look, we can, if it is quotation, the person who said should be directly or indirectly said. Why? Because if we don't know who said that idea, it's not quotation, first of all. Because quotation is telling person A's idea to another person. Without that one, it's not a quotation, first of all. However, we have sometimes that we know who said that idea, but we intentionally don't want to say. At that case, we can use passive voice, passive statement. We'll change our statement in a neutral concept. Think, if I have the statement, for example, in the state of Albert Einstein, okay, I may use it is said. So do you know who said that? It is a neutral language. In this case, yeah, we can use it. It is said, or it is literally being said. But we don't know who said that. The person who said that is not specific. At this time, yeah, we can have this kind of quotation. It is considered a quotation, but intentionally the writer doesn't want to say. Still, it is a quotation. It is someone else's word. We have used that one as a hook, but we want to go ahead directly or indirectly if the person who said that is clear. So, any other question?
No, teacher. It means if we, mention the name of that person, it would be more, formal and more good because it attracts, people's attention. Yeah, teacher.
So that's based on condition, based on the topic, based on the situation you want to explain. It is related to that. You have to decide based on the topic, based on the explanation you want to provide. It is different. We cannot say that 100% of the time we have to use active voice or 100% of the time it should be passive. But in certain cases, or normally, active voice is preferred than passive voice. We have usage of passive voice as well, but in academic context, we can choose.
Yeah, teacher, really, because it attracts attention. For example, if I say Barack Obama, it means that Barack Obama is very famous and everyone knows him. So that's why it attracts people's attention. But if I say one person says, it means it don't attract many people. So that's why in here I think mentioning some scientists is very good in our sentences and AC.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's the first part of introductory paragraph. If you have introductory paragraph, the first part is hook. And simply to summarize, hook is usually the first sentence, and the purpose of it is to attract the reader's attention. That's the purpose of the hook. It attracts the reader's attention. Now, what can be a hook? A hook can be a question, it can be a quotation, it can be a surprising statement of fact or general statements. And finally, a hook can be a definition. Now, the next part of the introductory paragraph is connecting information. Connecting information. Connecting information has two main functions. First of all, we can say the statements, there are many statements or sentences. It's not only one. the statements that provide background knowledge, okay, background information about the main topic, what the essay mainly will mainly be about. Background topic. That's the job. Or sometimes it is also called that connecting information, links. Okay, link the hook with the thesis statement. Link the hook with the thesis statement. It just works as a connector between the hook and the thesis statement. Consider if you have this one, a definition. Essay is a group of paragraphs. If we have this one, how do you write it? I think I will copy it. It was our hook. Then we can say it gives, let me put it here. It says a group of paragraphs that talk about one central topic. It discusses ideas in the base of argument. For example, descriptions to explain a specific idea, to provide analytical information, analytical information. How do you write analytical? Yeah, analytical information. And the writer's judgment. For example, judgment about a topic. This much. It can be a hook. Sorry, it can be connecting information. It provides background knowledge. So it discusses ideas in the base of argument, description to explain a specific idea, to provide analytical information, and the writer's judgment about a topic. The purpose, for example, if you say the purpose of an essay comes in with introducing the main point, providing the writer's, opinion, and the final conclusion that one can achieve. So from this part up to here, from here to here, we call it a part of background information. It is background. Think you're writing about an essay. So what is essay? You will have. Now after that you will write a thesis statement. You will complete it. Thesis statement. I'll write it, complete it. We'll talk about the parts of thesis statement next session because we don't have time now. So now I will go on with thesis statement. Based on the overall structure, for example, overall structure. An essay includes introductory paragraph, body paragraphs, and conclusion or concluding paragraph. It can be a thesis statement. Now the rest of my essay would be about these parts. First paragraph will be about introductory paragraph. What is introductory paragraph? Second would be discussing what are body paragraphs in an essay. The third would be what is concluding paragraph. So this can be overall an introductory paragraph. We have got the hook, the first sentence. Then we have connecting information. They provide background idea. And lastly, we have the thesis statement. The thesis statement introduces the main topic of every introductory paragraph and overall the main idea of every essay. Think we may have, let's choose one of these topics, one of these hook. Which one do you want to go ahead and write an essay about? Tell me a topic. We'll write one.
Okay, teacher. For example, let assignments write a paragraph about the statement of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that educated yourself from cradle to grave.
Okay, where is it? Yeah, here. So if it is our hook, if that would be the hook, Prophet Muhammad said, or says, educate yourself from cradle to the grave. I can say it shows how important, look, I will write the connecting information, how important education is and how it influences the people, so people's, we can call it eventually. It has been, or education, instead of it, I may use education. Education has been an important or significant phenomenon throughout history, and is still, because right now we have it as well, like that one. However, think if you have that one. However, it is a matter of question. It is a matter of question that how important it is. Yep, Miss Zainul Arab.
Yes, teacher. Excuse me, teacher. I have a question about the peoples. You wrote there, peoples, right? Yes, please. Yes, this one. Is it correct? Is it?
Here we have apostrophe. Yes, I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So eventually, education has been a significant phenomenon throughout the history and is still. However, it's a matter of question that how important it is, and what significance, for example, or what significant role does it have on our personal and social life. So it's a matter of question. So it can be this much. We can have a hook connecting information this much. Now we will go ahead with the thesis statement. It is strongly, for example, strongly believed. It is strongly believed that education has affected or has been influential on moral interactions, better somehow communication, and overall level of living in people's lives. Now, here, this can be, let me identify here again. The first part was a hook. It is the hook. We used quotation. Now, from this up to social life, it is our connecting information. And lastly, we have the thesis statement. It is our thesis statement. It is strongly believed that education has been influential on moral interaction, better communication, and overall level of living in people's lives. So basically, that's what we have as introductory paragraph. And it is the first part of an essay. Now, the rest of the essay should talk about, which is in body paragraphs. First part, we have to write about how it was influential on moral interactions, how it is effective in better communication, and how it is important on the level of, or influential on the level of living people's life. And finally, we'll have a conclusion to the overall conclusion of the essay. Itself can be one paragraph, this one can be one paragraph, this can be one paragraph. Overall, it makes our essay. Yep, that's it. So we'll discuss the next day on how to go ahead with developing the other paragraphs. First paragraph, second paragraph, and the third paragraph.